you on my Facebook, the game a whole natal. The check news my face, look my radio.
Good morning on Friday, the 18th of July, 2025. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia, and therefore coffee time on West Coast Radio with me, Peter Gomez.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jel mo to nga andil mahalis. Hello?
Bisul mo fine.
What?
Bisul mo fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bisul mo fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, let's welcome the Brikama Boyo, ST, the Gambian Dream, with one of his own songs.
Facebook si telebi. Man mange tepi talibi. Man mange tas dekabi. Man mange touch radio. Ana hate.
All right, Balatas Radio B. Let's welcome. That's the last thing I want to happen to this. But listen, thank you very much for accepting a very prompt invitation. We had already made arrangements for Friday, but when we heard about your foundation and your tree planting on the Wednesday program, I thought, why don't we try and get ST on the program? And Kausa said to me, oh no, he's ready to come any day. And I said, well then, if he's available Friday, bring him on Friday. Thank you so very much for coming.
Definitely, it's a pleasure being here. You know, Peter Gomez is a big name.
ST
so
is bigger.
Having to be present,
I can't feel
being your present is like a blessing. Yeah?
I can't fill a stadium. You have filled the stadium 10 times over. Thank you very much for coming. Tell us who ST Brikama Boyo, the Gambian Dream is.
ST is a young rapper, you know, who started out, you know, from nothing, made a name for himself, you know. ST is an artist that is focused on, you know, representing his culture and his people, you know, in his music.
Okay.
Yes.
So your culture is Mandinka, so the music you play is what? Afro-Manding?
Actually, I'm versatile in the sense that I do almost all the different types of music. I did a reggae song once. Yeah, maybe a couple of times actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I do Afro-Manding. I do rap, hip hop. You know, I mix them up a little bit. Yeah.
All right. And what inspired? Okay, go ahead.
My culture is Mandinka, you know, but you know, like I fuse in a lot of other things from other cultures as well. So, yeah.
Have you fused Manjago into anything you've done so far?
No, not all of them, but yeah, some.
you should think about that. Yeah?
Yes, of course, definitely.
Right. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
Okay, from the start, it was more like just for fun for me. I have passion for music. Since I was in grade 3, I can remember on Fridays, we used to have this break time. You know, it's not really a break, but it's more like, you know, every kid is allowed to do this little thing that you are so good at and stuff like that. Sometimes we go out of the classroom, but mostly we sit down and we sing. You know, so, you know, that was my favorite part. You know, I used to sing a lot. You know, the fugitive songs, the Born Africans, you know, like, yeah, all of those songs I memorized early. So, you know, I would sing these songs, you know, I got used to singing them. And, you know, I don't know how to call this, Juju Otofanang. It's like when you were circumcised, Juju Oto.
Okay.
I sing there a lot.
Okay.
You know, the traditional songs and stuff like that. I grew up in that. So I think that kind of contributed a lot to me being an artist. But, you know, at first it was just so fun. I have passion for music. And then it got to a point that when I started recording and just releasing it for myself and my friends to listen to, people started, encouraging me.
Oh, very good.
Like, yo, this is dope. When is the next one coming?
Very good.
Yo, but I didn't know you could do this. When is the next coming? So I kind of got carried away, before I knew it, it is something else.
Okay. And I heard the Fugitives,
Yeah.
Born Africans.
Yes.
What other influences, actually convinced you that you could get into this industry and make a career for yourself?
Well, around that time, I was listening to every Gambian artist as long as it's on TV. I was, I was a kid, and everything is on GRTS. Maybe we would watch some Senegalese artists also. There was a lot of mbala in the Gambia by then too. So I would listen to all that. My sister would play music, I would listen to it. My brothers, they play Jamaican music, I listened to it. So I was exposed to music at an early stage.
Okay.
Yeah, but then by then it was more like just for fun, and that was it. In the later part, I was listening to 50 Cent. I was listening to Tupac and some of the popular artists from America.
Fantastic. So Tupac probably swayed you to embrace
Yes,
rapping
yes.
and all of that.
Tupac did motivate me. 50 Cent did motivate me also. A lot of them actually.
And how would you say your sound has evolved over the years? How many years have you been in music now?
15,
Oh, wow.
maybe, yeah.
You got in very early
15,
because
16,
you're
yeah.
still very young.
Exactly.
So how has your sound evolved over those 15, 16 years?
When I first started, I was rapping in English.
Okay.
Yes, I was rapping in English. And, I was rapping. Most of the time, it was just rapping. I didn't even care about what I was saying. It was more like, just come to the studio. The feeling of rapping and hearing yourself on beat was just amazing. So that was it. But in the later part, when I actually, dropped my first album, the whole concept of music changed for me, because then it was no longer about, just doing it for fun. It was more like, yo, I love this. I think I can do this. I can take this for a career. So I needed to change a lot of things. That's when, I flipped, into the Mandinka language and, do a lot of improvisations to be able to connect and relate to my people more.
Fantastic. And what challenges did you face, during your musical career?
A lot of them. A lot of challenges, because by then, being a kid from Brikama, rapping was a little bit hard, in the sense that, first of all, Brikama is a reggae town.
Well, if
Everybody does reggae. There's nothing like rap.
I think
everyone, yes.
one of the biggest reggae exports
Exactly.
came from Brikama, Rebellion.
Yeah, exactly. It was more of a reggae town, All the kids want to be artists, but everybody is doing reggae. I started out with rap. It was a new thing. And also, it was hard, to blend in, because I was in Brikama. Most of the rap scene was concentrated around this area.
Ah.
Yeah, like Pipeline, Serekunda, around that. So having to tap into, this area was also another complication. And, you have to do a lot of things on your own, as a young artist. It's not like now that you would want to be an artist and people would actually encourage you. Yeah, of course, this is great, you can do it. Before, it was more like, yo, go and find something better to, that kind of stuff. It was more like, a big waste of time. So, those were really challenges. No funds. I had to do a lot of things on my own. I had to, push rap music in my town, which was not, was a reggae town, I had to try to tap into the market in here so people know me, and it's not like, I come here like all the time and stuff like that. So it was really hectic at some point.
The reason I asked the question is that, in those days, if you spoke about pursuing a career in music, people would say you're crazy. They would name bands before you and say, tell us what they achieved.
I was hiding from my mom, knowing I'm an artist from the start. Okay. I did some songs. I didn't even want my mom to hear it.
Oh.
The first time my mom heard my song was Musiko yo sasaburu, musifingo kodifuru. And you know how she knew?
How did she know?
These women, they do tegala. Guarantee tech.
Osusu?
Osusu, exactly.
Okay. Right.
So when they come into the house, they are like, huh? But your son's new song. So that is how my mom knew it, from her friends and other since they started playing it on the radio, but it was hard from the beginning, honestly.
You're doing a lot for, environmental and climate change education.
Yeah.
And the next song I'm going to play is with regard, to you raising awareness about, indiscriminate dumping of plastic waste.
Yeah,
Pay your bass guitar player, but he needs a pay rise. Killer tunes from the guitar bass.
Yeah, actually, this wasn't really like a live play.
Oh, it wasn't?
Yeah, exactly.
It's music you create in the studio.
Exactly. This is one of them songs that you go to the studio and you are like, check any instrumental on YouTube, and then they play it because I know what I want to rap about, and then I'll go at it. So when I'm done, the producer would now create a beat that could actually synchronize with the music.
I like the bass guitar.
Yeah, exactly. It's,
I like
it's
the
really
bass
nice.
guitar. Great.
Yeah, shout out to the producer, by the way.
Yeah, he's done a good job for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the message, and what's the official title of the song I just played?
Is waste management.
Okay.
Yeah, waste management. Actually, I think these are other things that should really also count, because we do a lot of songs for the people, entertainment, dancing, but we also have to focus on our environment. Like when you walk down the streets, you see all these nylon bags everywhere. People literally throw anything anywhere at any point in time. So it's not healthy.
It's not.
It's not healthy at all.
Not at all.
And when you travel, you look at other places. Like we was just from Germany last week. It's a complete different thing. You look at the streets; it's hard to even see anything exactly. So I think us as role models, as artists, we should also focus our energy on how we could contribute in making a better environment. For making a better place.
Speak to me more about that. Why it's important for the music industry to also get involved in fighting, climate change and other environmental challenges, and how you personally got involved in this.
Because I believe when you have a platform as an artist, it's good. Music is what you do. You entertain people, but your platform should not just be limited to, music. You have a responsibility to the nation also. So that platform can be used to create awareness. There's a lot of other kids that listen to you. Like when they hear you do this and that, and they enjoy, they follow you, but they hear you say this and that, now they listen. Oh, that's my role model. He said this. Okay, now that is how you also contribute in changing people's minds towards certain things. So
you think artists should be more involved in issues in,
I
including
think
climate change and...
is a responsibility
okay.
of every artist to also involve themselves in social change and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. How has social media, or rather, what role has social media played in your career, and how do you engage with your fans, not just in the Gambia, right across the world?
Well, it's been amazing. I started music a long time ago. When I first started, it was crazy. I remember my first maybe 3 albums. We had to come to Westfield, walk from Westfield all the way to traffic light to paste flyers. Yeah, to paste flyers, posters, and stuff like that. Then Serekunda all the way to Tipagaras. We will walk the whole town, so people to have visibility, and it's a big town. How many flyers do you need, and how much work do you need to do to be able to paste all these flyers? It was complicated. My first album, we was making copies. It wasn't like digital or iTunes or any of that. It was digital. You had to walk, to sell copies, create all of that stuff. So, looking back at things then and now, it really changed. Now I could actually do an event and just post it on my fan page. I have close to 200K followers. 200K plus followers.
Okay.
On Facebook alone. Now, I can post something there today. Within 2 days, it's like 100K views. Now I'm getting to 100,000 people just by posting on my social media page. So the level of awareness that it creates and the level of speed it takes to get to the people, is just amazing. Honestly, it contributed a lot. Social media have just turned the whole thing.
It has, yes.
Up, definitely.
It has even changed the way we do our work. But how do you deal with piracy? Do you feel that, people pirate your music and maybe,
That's something we've been dealing with from from the start, because in Gambia it's okay to send songs on WhatsApp. Like I could just buy your album, get it, copy it on my phone, send it to WhatsApp to 1,000 people. Yeah. Now, one person, bought a copy, but, 1,000 people are listening to it for free, so it's not, there have not been much sales on albums, So you can make sales on iTunes and stuff like that, but also, when we look at our population, the number of people that are active, online and those that have access to iTunes and all that stuff is very limited. Mostly, people from in the diaspora and stuff like that. So, yeah, piracy has really been a problem.
Okay,
though,
so
honestly.
when you release, an album, when you release a song, yes, you target the local market, but you have an eye out on the diaspora as well.
Yeah, now things are changed because if I do an album, there's no copies, there's no hard copies.
Okay.
Yeah. We everything is digital, it's online.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So people will have to download it there, but for one or two reasons people will still have it over here. I send it to a DJ, put it on a computer, put it on a flash drive, play it at an event, somebody collect it, another DJ we cannot, the whole process is not stopped, but it's limited compared to before. And shout out to all the fans out there, they really contributing because we having some little sales on iTunes and stuff. Yeah,
this is going to sound like a silly question to you. So now when Uncle Peter hears ST is launching an album, ST is not actually taking stacks of albums with him to the stadium.
No.
Or,
no.
That's my understanding.
No.
In those days when they said an album, it's a
well, because before it was physical, it was so physical,
First it was the vinyl, then the CD.
But also, what brought that about is, like I said, one person, 2 people would buy the album. Hey, yesterday you got the copy. Can I have it? You copy it on your laptop. Somebody else so you can make a whole lot of copy and have little sales, and your music is everywhere still. So I think that made things really complicated for artists, but now that things are digital now, you're gonna have to get it online. Even on YouTube, you're gonna have to go there and download it and stuff like that. You cannot stop people from getting it back way, but alhamdulillah.
Our program this morning going down very well with somebody called Sanasane. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Today is your best show ever. That's the Gambian dream, the greatest of all time. It's your boy Sanasane, my artist. That's the baddest, trust me. Is this how you people talk now? Let's talk about your foundation. Yeah, your president is here, but we already had him on the radio on Wednesday, and I once again want to thank him for facilitating Kausu Sedi, for facilitating this interview. What led you to, starting a foundation?
For me personally, music gave me everything. It's not like, I came from a wealthy family or anything like that, Life have been, getting better for me since I started music, People love my music, I do concerts, it's jam-packed, so loud, Like you said, I've been to the stadium, so many different times. For the first time, a Gambian artist organizing an event at a solo at the Independence Stadium, and it's jam-packed. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time to 4 times. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's routine. The stadium has become too small for you now.
So people support me. They love my music. They buy my ticket. So I don't just want to be the one collecting.
You don't want to just to be taking all the time. You want to give something back.
Yeah, exactly. I have to, see how I can also give back, even though I cannot give back to all these people individually, but, I could do it in a way that, the community would still benefit from me also,
Yeah, and why choose tree planting? You could have, I'm sure, for instance, in Brikama, they would want a second stadium to box bar. You could have found land somewhere and build a stadium for them. But I'm sure there's a reason why you chose tree planting, environmental, protection and all of that.
Yes, definitely. Actually, we named the foundation ST Foundation for Community Development.
Okay.
Yes, and under the foundation we have ST Environmental Award.
Okay.
So the name for community development, we chose that because from the beginning we wanted to give back to the community. We didn't want to specialize on one thing.
Okay.
So the tree planting came later. It wasn't. We started with doing other things. We would support people with health finances. We would support students with school fees at the university. And we would feed the needy. Like in the raining season, we would do things for people that need help most.
Very good.
So
that's a lot.
Yeah, we wanted to do it in a way that anything that came up that really need our help, we can jump into that, so we didn't specialize. So the environment is part of us. This is where we live. We have global warming now, bush burning, deforestation. It really also demands our focus, so we also have to put that in the picture. Yeah.
You're a big star. Is government aware that you are active in environmental protection work, climate change mitigation activity, to the point that they would invite you when, there's a delegation to go maybe to international forums where people like yourself, would be present?
Yeah, well, I'm a cultural ambassador. And the government is definitely aware of, what we do, because most of the events that we do also, we partner with other bodies that are on the same cause, and we've worked with Brikama Area Council.
Okay.
Several occasions.
They should have that song about waste management.
Yes, exactly.
They should
You know,
have-
yeah.
they should be playing it every day.
We did cleansing exercises with them, you know, where they would provide tractors and we would provide the people and, you know, stuff like that, you know. So we've worked with a lot of other people, you know, like we've worked with organizations as well, you know, yeah.
How do you fund the foundation?
Okay. Since we started, it's been over 5 years now, the foundation. It's only once that we actually have funds from UNDP, which was last year, you know. But other than that, you know, it's straight up, you know, it's from my pocket. It's more like when I do concerts, I go to the stadium. I have a lot of people that come in, or I go to Q City. You know, thousands of Gambians. You know, from the money made. You know, we always budget something that we have to put, you know, in the foundation. You know, to give back to the people. So every concert that you see, you know, every album launching that you see, we making money out of it. Some of it is going to
There's a
the
percentage that goes to the
foundation.
foundation.
Exactly, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, you know.
Very good.
And it's not even about the album launchings. Like it doesn't matter whether the album is launched or not. When we need to do activities and there is no cash, it's still gonna come out here, and you know, we still gonna fund it personally. It's from pocket. You know, I work with other people too. You know, I have a brother abroad. I have other people that I work with also as well. You know, it's not just me actually. You know. So I'm the face of it, but you know, I have a lot of support, you know, behind me.
You spoke about your recent tour to Germany.
Yeah.
You seem to like touring. How important is that, you know, for you?
Well, you know, we have to sell Gambia out, you know. We have to market our culture, you know, our music, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not just about limiting ourselves to Gambia alone. You know, we seen the Davidos, the Wizkids, they doing, you know, international, you know, tours. They're filling up, you know, arenas, you know, abroad and stuff like that. So if they can do it, why can't Gambia do it, you know? So for me, you know, this is more like a start. You know, us tapping into the international market, because, you know, a lot of other artists are coming. We cannot just limit it here. Senegalese are doing it, you know, so, you know, Gambia can do it, you know. So for me, you know, it's really important to also be able to perform outside, connect with people, you know, collaborate with other artists, you know, and, you know, represent Gambia and push the flag high to the highest level.
And of all the places you've performed outside the Gambia, which place do you like the most? Your fans internationally will be listening and watching.
Yes. Okay. I would say it's hard. It's hard to say, because usually I've done all the best places I've been to. I've done shows over and over. Usually the Stuttgart shows, they are very nice. The Bremen,
Germany.
yeah, exactly. You know, and you know, like the Bremen shows. We from the past 4 years, it's been from one place to the other. And honestly, Gambians come out in their numbers. They support.
Do they travel from other European countries? Say when you are putting on a show in Germany,
Yeah,
do you have
definitely.
people coming from France,
Definitely.
from Austria?
Definitely. You know, like take an example of the Summer Jam. You know, like it's one of the biggest festivals in
Europe.
In Europe.
Yeah.
Like we have people flying from everywhere. Even before we went there, the feedback that we have from here, like, boy, I'm buying my ticket next week. But you know, it's just so energizing. You know, from the entire Gambian community. You know, and fans outside.
How do you balance fame with privacy? You're a very famous person. The social media now, they talk about people they don't even know, people who don't even
Facts.
have fame. You know, let alone somebody as famous as ST.
Yeah, well, if you're an artist, you know, I think those are one of the things you should know. Like, it's hard for to keep the balance, actually, you know, but because some people are curious about your life. You know, some people would make an interesting page writing about you, you know. So, you know, people, when you're a public figure, you are just outside there. Everybody wants to talk, everybody wants to write, but not everybody would know you personally to that level, you know. So it's just, those are just the things that you have to accept. Yes.
All right. And I hear you sing in English, money is funny. How do you measure success? Is it in terms of the amount of money you have? And what does success mean to ST?
I think it's all about, you know, how much impact you make and how many lives you are able to change around you, you know? Yeah.
So for you, it's not how much you have in your, you know, bank balance.
Definitely not.
It's how much you touch the lives of people.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
though you have quite a hefty sum in your bank account.
I wish. I wish, you know. But yeah, you know, it's more about, you know, how much impact you make in other people's life, in your environment. Like I said, you know, these things really matter to me, you know.
All right.
Because at the end of the day, you want to look back and say, okay, I did this and this and did, not just necessarily I have this, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did rather than I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
You know, yeah.
Very interesting text message. Uncle Peter, good morning, and thanks for having my boyo on Coffee Time with you. Please, you forgot to ask ST his real name.
I said my real name in one of my songs.
Well, I know the real name.
You do?
Sana Singate.
Hey.
So I was just assuming that everybody knows that ST is Sana Singate.
Yeah.
What brought about the ST, Brikama Boyo, the Gambian Dreamer? Sorry, the Gambian Dream.
ST I got from my namesake. I was named after my grandfather on my mother's side. You know, he was called ST.
Okay.
So, you know, my mom calls me ST, my uncles call me ST. Everyone calls me ST because they was calling him ST.
Okay.
You know, the Gambian Dream, I think my brother gave me that name. I'm not really sure how that came about, honestly.
Okay. Well, it's it's stuck anyway.
Yeah, for Brikama Boyo, you know, I said it on my first song that I did in Mandinka. You know, I said Brikama Boyo on the song. So, you know, I think people heard it from that, and then, you know, they started, you know, that's how the Brikama Boyo came about, though. Yeah, but the Gambian Dream, I think my brother in America was the one that gave me that name.
Fantastic. Uncle Peter, please ask him about the song he did with Baba Mal, My People. You know, what's the message?
Yeah, well, you know, it's just about the people, my people, you know, because I think it's, you know, it creates a lot of awareness, you know, in our countries. It's not just about Gambia, it's Africa in general, you know. So it's talking about, you know, how people could, you know, communicate better, how we can make a better nation, how we could, you know, put aside some of the things, you know, and, you know, focus on some of the things. Yeah.
You will love this text message. It's from the managing director of GPA, Usman Jobate.
Yeah.
He says, good morning, Peter. I remember when I invited ST to our office at GPA around 2014, when we had him on stage as guest artist, when we had Pap Juf at Dream Park. He waited patiently, watching people move in and out of the office, until I asked him whom he wanted to see. And he politely responded, you called me in. Now this is you saying, but bro, this office is the real Wato TJ. And O says, I'm proud to have associated with him early on then and wish him all the best.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to them.
Have you since done anything? This is an opportunity to go back to GPA and say, hey, you started it all. Look where come on board and let's do the foundation together.
Definitely, you know. Yes, since they are listening, we are coming.
Well, he's listening.
We are coming.
Good morning, Peter. Can you please ask ST, the best artist in the Gambia, which political party he supports? This is, this is the thing.
I don't involve myself in politics.
Tell me why.
Because I think, artists carry a voice in the society. Some of my fans, they're NPP. Some of them are UDP.
Yes.
Some of them are other parties.
Yes.
But when I call an event at the stadium, everybody comes through. We put politics aside. We are all one, brothers and sisters, one Gambia, one nation, one tribe. So for me, when elections, when politics kicks in and there's confusion and, people are talking, different things, it is a responsibility for me to come and say, hey, let's put this aside. We are brothers. We are all one. It's one Gambia, one tribe. Let's forget about, all the rest. And unity comes in first. Humanity comes in first. The brotherhood comes in first. But to be able to do that, you cannot take sides.
True.
Yes, you have to stay neutral if you want people to listen to you and if you want to spread good information to the people, So I think, that is the one role that artists should take. When there is confusion, when there is dispute, we can come in with our music and, sensitize the people, spread some positive message that people could actually listen to. And, we cannot take sides. We have to just be there for the entire nation.
Have you done a song about Gambian unity? The need for us to be all united, forget about, our different cultures, creed, whatever.
I did so many songs.
You did so many songs.
So many songs that I talk about unity, togetherness and oneness, So yeah.
Yeah, we'll fish them out and play them more often. Kodobe Kodo is the best song of all his songs. I use it as my ring tune because, since it was released. Is ST Foundation spent on health sector? I suppose they're finding now whether there's a health aspect to the foundation. You have said that you have supported people who needed support for health reasons.
Yes.
But is health a component of your foundation?
Of course it is. It is. We have collaborated with hospitals, in raising funds for them. We have collaborated with other, related, sectors, to raise funds, So usually it's not always me saying, okay, this is the amount of money we're going to give the hospital. Sometimes, the RVH hospital comes and say, okay, we want to organize a fundraising. We want to do this artist, but we also want you guys to come and support, and stuff like that. So we will be there to support,
Fantastic.
They need donors for blood and stuff like that, or they have an event, to create whatever it is that we also try to be there, physically to actually, promote their cause and stuff like that. Yeah. So we've really collaborated with a lot of health sectors.
I thought it was only going to be young people like Martin here and Fanta who were going to be listening to this program, but big people listening to you. Right? The head of West Africa, Takaful, maybe from here you go and see him.
Yes,
Says, Salam
Takaful.
Alhaji Father Peter. He's a great thinker. This is you with a great heart. I love his ambition, impacting lives around him and his environment. God grant him every success. And this is from Momodu Musa Juv. So as I said, West Africa Takaful.
Hey, Takaful, saluto.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Please ask ST, when is he going to have a collaboration with Attack Gay? Who is Attack Gay?
He means he's a Gambian artist. He's a well-known Gambian artist. He's a superstar.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Maybe I should get him next on the program.
Yes, you should. You should.
He's called Attack Gay.
Yes.
Okay.
Attack is his music name.
Okay.
But he means when am I doing another song with Attack, because we actually did a collabo. He featured me on a song.
Oh, okay.
I featured him on a song first.
Okay. Oh, it should be another, not when is he going to have a collaboration?
Ni Hamo BJ, Taru Sapije, you know, I featured some young upcoming Gambian artists, you know. They're all stars now, but that was back then. I featured Attack on it. Attack also featured me on his song, on his album titled song, which is Big Noise.
Okay.
You know.
Somebody saying, good morning, Uncle Peter. ST is incredibly smart. His response to your question on success was spot on. And hear him on politics. Bless him. You seem to know how to handle the media.
Just keeping it real.
Hi, good morning, Uncle Peter. I'm very proud of my brother, ST. Let him keep up. We are all from Dipakunda. His mother is from Dipakunda. You're from Dipakunda?
I stayed there when I was little. My father was a headmaster, and my mother was a teacher. So we moved around a lot. We moved around a lot, you know.
So your mom is from Dipakunda?
No, we stayed there. She's from Makati, Janjambure. Both my parents are from Makati. Yeah.
Good morning, Brother Peter. This is...
but we stayed at Dipakunda. Shout out to all the Dipakunda people. Definitely,
like
that's
I said,
home.
Only big people, you know. I mean, listening to you this morning, former Ambassador Ibundur saying, good morning, Peter. ST stole the show at the last Yusundur free show organized by Africell at the traffic lights, Kairaba Avenue. I was there and I watched the body language of Yusundur. When ST played one of his tunes, one could see the pleasant surprise on Yusundur's face. My congratulations to Abrikama Boyo. I call him our Gambian Boyo. And as I said, former Ambassador Ibundur.
Saluto Ibundur.
People listening to you. We're going to end with, I've just, randomly selected it. It's called Alatentu.
Nakuro lesene akandu masa puna ekanka nikona kari ale banta ina tale kasa nga kontra ala talale nyindin adamale satanu.
The longest road, they say, has a bend, and we have reached the end of the road. ST, thank you so very much for livening up the studio this morning. I mean, since she started working here, she never presented herself in the studio when we were doing a live production.
Since my mom is our son in the studio, it's always different, It has to be different, huh?
Thank you so very much for coming.
Yes, so but before I go, I want to give special thanks to my team. Like I said, I work with a whole lot of, that's the president of the foundation here. They put in a lot of work, and there's a whole lot of people behind me that are not on TV, but, they do a whole lot of work to make sure everything works out smoothly. I want to give special thanks to all of them. We was just from the Summer Jam last week. I traveled with six other Gambian, superstars, and, it was amazing. Fantastic. We represented, Gambia and our culture to the highest level, and I want to give special thanks to them also. And Benjamin, who's also living abroad, is a Gambian artist. He was invited on stage, he did his thing also. I want to say a special thank you to all the fans out there that have been supporting me. Their support is like motivation. It keeps me going. When I look back, it's like, yo, you are doing the right thing. You are on the right path, and that keeps me motivated and keeps me going. So shout out to all the fans out there, all the listeners, all the fans in the diaspora, and all the fans in here. Shout out to all the artists in the building, Gambia Musical to the world.
Fantastic.
Sorry, this Saturday we'll be doing a tree planting exercise at Janjambure on the 19th, and on the 26th we'll be doing Basse, so all the fans around that area, Saturday, this Saturday Janjambure, next week Saturday Basse, we're coming.
Janjambure, Basse, ST is coming at you. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend. Next week we return with Professor Yerembalo on Monday.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
jënd si Wave.
yow Ablaye yow lu tax doo dee dégg lu tax mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis hello xana lay waxal
Bësal mu fine.
What?
Bësal mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave acts in Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Bësal mu fine. Wave. Your money is yours.